back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So more disappointment and heartbreak for England today. I got up with my son this morning to watch the Euro final, and I don't know much about soccer, but Spain deserved to win. They just looked better. They looked like they were attacking, they were faster, they were smoother. I don't know what England were doing. What were they doing? And they still almost fucking jagged it as well. They had an opportunity there at the end. First, they kicked a goal to level it, which was fucking pretty good. Some weird dude with a weird hairstyle that kind of looks retarded. He kicked a goal. Then Spain kicked another one. And then with like a minute remaining or fuck all remaining, England had a chance. They had two headers fucking stopped. One by a goalkeeper and the other one by some dude who was just lurking on the line. It was so fucking close. I feel like if England attacked a little bit more, they may have had a chance. But Spain looked good. They're so smooth. And I tell you what I've noticed, because I watched the Copa final as well, Copa America. Argentina, Colombia. Argentina won that. And I've noticed that there seems to be a trend going on in soccer at the moment. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but besides Argentina, the teams all around the world are starting to look more and more, let's just say, colourful. Like, it's looking like the NBA a little bit. It's starting to look like the NBA. Colombia looked like the Boston Celtics today, like current day Boston Celtics, and Argentina looked like 1970s Boston Celtics. They're the only team. England looked NBA-like. Spain was even looking a little bit NBA-like. All these teams are getting filled by the most athletic people now. Like, after a point, there's only so much skill you need to have, and then athleticism takes over. And so the teams that choose the most athletic people seem to be doing the best. Germany only has like 2 or 3 athletic players, and they seem to be floundering. What they need to do is change their immigration policy and get some athleticism into the team. It just proves a point that everyone has been suspicious of for quite some time. If African Americans ever started playing soccer, it's fucking over. Like, if they ever get tired of dominating every single sport in the entire world, every athletics event, everything, and they decide, let's start playing soccer, I'm telling you, the USA will win the next, 50 World Cups. I have been enjoying watching these games lately. I'm starting to get a little bit more into soccer. Like, I still think it's retarded. It's kind of more like chess than like an action-packed game. But I do appreciate the skill, and do I really? Let's just say I can watch it. I don't mind it. Anyway, there was that, and there was also it was a big day for Spain. Carlos Alcaraz, or whatever the fuck his name is, officially ended the era of the big three. The Nadal, Federer, Djokovic era is over now. I watched the Wimbledon final, and Alcaraz fucking brutalized Djokovic. I'd never seen Djokovic just absolutely demolished. It was 6-2, 6-2, 7-6. But he could have won that 6-2, 6-2, 6-4 if he didn't choke a little bit serving for the match. But I don't see how this kid doesn't fucking eclipse Djokovic at some point. He'll eclipse them all. If he continues at this pace, and there's no reason, barring injury, that he doesn't, he's fucking 21. He's won 4 Grand Slams already. It's over for everyone else. I just don't see how you can beat this kid. He's mentally just iron, and he doesn't have any weaknesses. And he's so fucking fast. He's not even athletic. And he's super fast, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it was a big day in sport. Condolences to England. Not to all of England, just the English people who are on my Patreon. Condolences. The rest of you can suck my nuts. Anyway, it's fucking Monday. Let's get to it because it's Ask Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation or any generation, comedian, philosopher, waterproofer, Le Boyle, then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. There's a section there for Ask Boyle. Put your details in, ask your question. I'll get to it. Send in your fucked up Fridays, same spot. Do the same thing. I need some more stories, so send them in. And while you're there, why don't you jump on board the fucking Patreon train? We've got another Degeni Diaries coming out on Wednesday. This one is an absolute banger. I speak to my man Larry for about an hour. He used to own weed shops in LA, and we just deep dive into weed. It's the weed podcast you've all been waiting for. I fucking love that chat. The hour went by fucking fast. So get on the Patreon. People are loving the Degeni Diaries. I'm loving doing it. It's a pint a month to join the Patreon. You also get, as a side vibe, some waterproofing tips and advice. You get the boy Al at his job, construction. Anyway, fucking join up. I'll see you at the Patreon. Let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So, fuck, I just checked my phone. I got to pick up my kid. I got to take him to kickboxing. He's starting kickboxing now, so we can sort out these kids at school. So it'll be 3 days a week jiu-jitsu and then 2 days a week kickboxing. But I got to fucking take him. So I'm coming back and I'll do the Ask Boyle in a minute. You won't even know. I could have just fucking edited it out. Anyway, I'll be back to do it. Fuck. All right, I am back. Not a lot of happy, smiley faces down at the kickboxing dojo. Jesus Christ, jiu-jitsu is pretty chill. Everyone's like fucking... Jiu-jitsu is pretty chill. Everyone's pretty like happy and smiley and shit. Not fucking kickboxing. A lot of scowls. A lot of scowls. Anyway, fucking I'm back. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's just get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by Gav. Gav over there in Dublin. So here's his question. Can you weigh crane driving up against waterproofing and with detailed explanations establish which is the better job? Also, my idea of crane driving is that it is lonely and often boring. Back when you were a degenerate, did you ever rub one out up in the lonely box? To help your Patreon marketing campaign, I've cut down my drinking 80% since I started supporting your Patreon. So buying you a pint a month has been one of my better investments. Greetings from Dublin, Gav. Well, G-Banger, you have come to the right place. For starters, thank you for the pint. I appreciate it. And congratulations on cutting back to 10 beers a night. Anyway, to your question, I have been thinking about that recently because there was a guy on site, a dogman, an old timer who I was just doing a couple of lifts with, getting back into the swing of things with the crane. And I got chatting to him and I told him I was a crane operator. He's like, we've got plenty of work. And he gave me the fucking big boss's number. And he's like, give him a call. They need crane drivers, blah, blah, blah. And so I've been thinking about it seriously and I have been weighing it up. So pros and cons. Let's go with the pros of waterproofing. And this could be a fucking short list. The pros are, well, with this particular company, they just fucking leave you alone. There's some work to do the work, and they stay out of your way. They're just like, fucking get it done. You don't even have to speak to anyone for like 3 hours if you don't want to. If you're just doing your work and you know what to do, you're fucking just out there by yourself. Just Boyle and his brain. So I love that. Nobody's riding you, no one's pressuring you. It's just fucking, there's work, do it, shut the fuck up. So that's good, but that might just be a company thing. Something good about waterproofing is there's no real fuck ups that can't be fixed like immediately. So it's extremely low pressure. You don't have to be bang on with anything. You just got like a general outline of what you need to be doing, and nothing has to be exact. So that's good as well. Even if you do fuck up, there's nothing that can't be fixed like easily. So that's good. The other good thing is I'm happy with the pay, and there's lots of work, lots of overtime, lots of work. So that's good. You can just bang it out, just fucking head down and bang it out. So yeah, that's good. I think that might be it for the pros though. I can't really think of any other ones at the moment. So let's go to the cons of waterproofing. It's hard. There's no task doing waterproofing that's easy. This particular job, I don't know other waterproofing. I just know the job I'm on. Everything is fucking difficult. From putting fucking connections into a plastic tube that's hard, you're using all your might just to get it in there, to rolling out membrane, to hanging it, to shooting the nails into the concrete and destroying your wrists, to welding PVC and plastic and inhaling the fumes, to being down on your knees, fucking trying to weld it together. All of it sucks. Every single task sucks. It really does. I haven't found one that I've enjoyed yet. I just have to change my fucking thought process. I'm like, all right, this is heavy. At least I'm doing some exercise, but I'm carrying something heavy. I can't get to the gym, so I'll just carry this shit. So I'm staying relatively fucking fit. The wear and tear on your body as well is pretty brutal. First it was my knees, then it was my back. Now it's my wrists and my fingers that are just fucked at the moment. So that's not exciting. The other thing that sucks is waterproofing. No one gives a no one even knows what waterproofing is, including the waterproofers. So you're real low on the totem pole of fucking respected people on site, which doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, that it's a con. If you want something done, no one respects what you're doing. You're like asking the crane guys, can you drop some fucking materials over for us? And they don't get back to you for like 2 days. It's long hours. I said that was a pro earlier, but it's also a con. It's fucking 12 hours a day waterproofing. The money's not as good. Like, that was also a pro. It's a con. Compared to crane operating, the money's not as good. But the work's there. It's consistent work. If you want to work, there's plenty. So let's move on to the cranes. I can't really think of any more fucking cons to waterproofing besides every single task you do is shit and hard and it destroys your body. And you don't get paid that much for it, even though I'm earning more waterproofing than I was in the cranes. So let's move to crane operating. Pros of crane operating. The first one is everyone thinks you're like some sort of god for some reason when you're a crane operator. They give you respect immediately for no particular reason because you really are just a glorified fucking forklift driver. It's not even hard. It's like the easiest job on site and you get the most respect. I've never understood it. People idolize the crane drivers. I'm like, they're fucking fat pieces of shit, most of them. What are you talking about? So there's that. You walk through the site like, oh, there's the craney. Another pro is it's easy. You're just sitting in there doing fucking fuck all. Moving a few things around here and there. Most of your days sitting down. There's days when you can be doing nothing for hours and you just need to do a few lifts. Like, it can get pretty boring, which is a con. We'll move on to them soon. Another pro is the money's better. You work in EBA. That's if you work for the union. The money's much better. You're one of the highest paid people on site. So there's some pros for you. Cons, like when you're in the cranes, there's a lot of fucking politicking because like you got all these cranes, different cranes from like 13 tons, which is what I was operating, 20 tonners as well, up to like 250 ton crawler cranes. And you sort of have to progress through them. You have to go like 13, fucking 20, 30, 60, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, that sort of thing. This is mobile cranes. I'm not in the tower cranes. That's even worse. That's really just sitting there all day doing nothing. So everyone wants to be a crane driver and everyone's sort of like trying to position themselves to get in certain cranes to do certain things. And it's a lot of bullshit and a lot of fucking like, yeah, just politics that I have less than zero interest in. Just fucking none. Another thing that sucks about cranes is the work's fucking, it can be any hours. Like you might be doing 2 a.m. one day, earlier mornings like 3 a.m. to drive the fucking big cranes on the road because they're not allowed on the roads after 6 a.m. So your hours are just completely fucked. You get paid for it though, but there's no continuity. The good thing, I forgot about this, pro for waterproofing is it's just same hours, same place every day. You can sort of like work things around that. You can still have a routine, even though you don't have much free time, you still get a routine. With the cranes, you can be scattered anywhere, doing anything. You don't know what time you're going to finish. One day it'll be fucking 2 p.m. Next day it'll be 3 a.m. It's like you just can't get any consistency. Unless you're on these big jobs where they sort of have a routine, but they don't last forever for the cranes. Like they'll probably have another couple of months on site and they'll be done. Another con for the cranes is your bosses ride you. They absolutely fucking ride you. Because you're talking about cranes here, like the cheapest, like you're talking about between $500,000 and $1 million for a fucking small crane. So they want them looked after and they fucking ride your ass hard. So you're not just like chilling out. You've got these cunts on you all the time. You're not just left alone. Once you've built a little bit of fucking trust, they sort of like let you go a little bit. But anything slightly bad happens, they fucking ride you. And they're paying you a lot more as well, so they own you more. And there's always cunts ready to replace you as well, so they have a lot more fucking power. A con is you're just in the cabin most of the time doing nothing. You get fat, you get bored, and then it breeds laziness as well. So even though you're sitting in the cabin all day and it is boring, you don't even want to go out and stretch because you just become lazy as fuck. Like the boys are looking at you, give us a hand here, you're not doing anything. And you're like, boys, I can't get out of the crane. It's an OH&S problem, you know what I mean? I wish I could come out there. The only time you leave the crane is to find a place to charge your phone. To fucking plug in your phone charger. But since I have been thinking about the shift over, I realized, because I'm watching the other trades as well, I was speaking to this steel fixer the other day, a huge Maori guy, and they fix all the Rio. And to me, that just looks like back-breaking work. And I asked him in the alley Mac, I'm like, fucking, how's your back? Your back must be fucked. And he's like, oh, it's fine, man. I'm used to it. I'd hate to be doing what you're doing. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't last a day doing what you're doing. He's like, oh, fuck the waterproofing, man. I couldn't do that shit. So I realized every fucking job sucks. When you're in the trades, it all fucking sucks. It's just like it suits you slightly better. At the moment, I prefer waterproofing because it's a little bit more, it's more active. It's hard work. So I'm working my body, but it is starting to affect it. There's long hours and you get left alone. I don't want to be hassled. I just want to turn up to work, do my work, and leave. That's it. I don't want any responsibility. I don't want any fucking problems. I don't want to be told what to do. I just want to do work and that's it. Leave. I'm not trying to get higher. I'm not trying to get more money. I just want to do my work and go. I'm happy with that at the moment. Plus, I don't want to go into like the cranes and then like leave immediately, because once you burn a bridge in the cranes, it sort of gets around, because once you're sort of like in with the cranes, you got to hang a little bit because you don't want to fucking burn bridges. But having said all that, maybe towards the end of the year when it's getting busy for them and it's super hot and it's the middle of summer and waterproofing is killing me, I might jump ship for a little while just to get used to the cranes again, just to refresh myself, to be honest with you, and just make a little bit of money before Christmas and then fucking quit all of it forever. I think I might do that. We'll see how it all plays out. But for now, just waterproofing's fine for me. I'm a very humble man with very humble needs. You know me. Anyway, I hope that fucking cleared a few things up. They both suck in their own ways, and there's some sort of good things about both of them. But for what my short-term goals are, the waterproofing, it's just easier to stay waterproofing at the moment. I forgot, crane's real hot and cold as well. Like you can be fucking doing 60, 70 hours one week and then like 10, 12 hours the next week. And it can get quiet for like 3-4 months as well. They sack a lot of people too. As soon as it gets fucking quiet, you're out. And waterproofing, they've got work for the next 10, 12 years, they said. Anyway, let's clear it out. Thanks for jumping on the Patreon, Gav. Appreciate it. That'll do for tonight, and I'll see ya the fuck later.